quick thank you to Microsoft for having me attend this session and present. Really appreciate it, and so does Pearson. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably the majority of you, my name is Brian Oakes. I am the lead for product solutions at Pearson, which means I get to build lots of cool stuff for Pearson to take to market. And today, I'm going to at least try to share some data-backed insights on how training and certification drive AI readiness, workforce confidence, and organizational performance. I'm going to do that in part by drawing from Pearson's experience implementing Microsoft AI and Copilot at scale, which we did in the summer of last year. And we're going to explore how this structured training and certification moved our teams from experimentation to real enterprise-wide adoption. For those of you, though, that don't know Pearson, before we get started, you may be thinking, why is Pearson here today? Are they a book publisher? Are they a test provider? The answer is yes. If I think about the current Pearson that exists today, we are that and so much more. Some stats are there at the top of the screen about the number of users globally, the number of seconds between each test we deliver, the number of organizations that trust in us to credential their businesses for them. So, and you get to see a smattering of the different companies we work with across the screen. But what it all boils down to is Pearson is helping people around the globe every day realize the life they imagine through learning, and that's the internal goal that we have here at Pearson to make sure that we're always following. Now that we got that out of the way, let's do a little table setting here. So in terms of what I'm going to try to make sure this little chat reinforces for you is the effort of training and certification to provide you a more ready workforce, the fact that employees have a better work output when trained and certified. Employers like Pearson, which I'm going to show you today, are shifting budget to AI skilling to get ROI from their tech investments. That's why we did it. That's why we spent the money we did to make sure that we had an enterprise-wide skilling program for the organization. And then to make sure that we are future-proofing our organization going forward. So before we started on this skilling journey, one of the really important relationships for Pearson was the relationship with Microsoft. So our in-house training service partner, that is one of the teams that I lead, was key for really three major reasons you see on the screen. One, we were confident the official content we were using from Microsoft would teach the correct skills. We were able to lean on our Microsoft team to help develop this program. And we knew the badges would validate the correct skills and motivate learners. So those were all critical components as we were pulling this program together. And Microsoft really helped us make sure that we could provide the best solution for the Pearson team all up. So when we looked at the task ahead of us, drive usage of Copilot among 13,000 users that were being given licenses around the world across numerous job roles. So this wasn't any specific part of the company. It was like, hey, we're going to push this out to all of these people across Pearson, which is a $4 billion organization. We knew we wanted to do a couple of important things. So one, build excitement. So make sure that this wasn't, oh, I have to go to training. This needed to be something that they were like, I get to go to training because I'm going to really use this tool. So we built these phase 1-hour virtual sessions, which were all about excitement. So how do you get them excited about the tool, what's coming to them, and the training that's going to help them unlock the value of that. And our MCT that delivered this was so critical. So our Microsoft certified trainer, we've known him forever, friend of the family, came in and did those sessions to really build that excitement across our teams. Moving off of that, we wanted to make sure that they understood really specifically how to get those benefits we were teasing in the excitement session, which was our phase 2. So 4 1-hour virtual sessions across multiple geographies for all job roles to show them how to use Copilot in the applications. So we went in, we did use cases, we had different examples that they could take back and do between sessions, so that they could really, take the skill they learned and really apply it. And then the last was we actually looked at our ontology data to figure out, okay, what are the top job roles that are most impacted by AI, where they're going to see the most benefit? And we did some role-based self-paced courses for them that they were able to use to really get the value if you are in, say, customer service. How is customer service impacted by Copilot specifically? How can you get the benefit to have that be a force multiplier for you and what you're doing in your day job? So that's the basic overlay of what the program was that we implemented. Let's get to some stats here real quick. So some details of the program. 140 sessions over 10 weeks across all job roles, across multiple time zones. So Pearson has people all around the globe. So we wanted to make sure this was really convenient for them to be able to sign up for the sessions that not only met their time zone, but also their work commitments outside of just training. We did lots of intro sessions. We did 30 different applications tracks with 4 sessions each. We focused on things like prompting, Outlook and Teams, Word and Excel, and PowerPoint to make sure that we were kind of focusing on the applications where we thought we'd see lots of usage across all the job roles. Again, because this phase 2 that we did, which was the 4 1-hour sessions, was really specific to getting value out of the applications with Copilot being your Copilot. And then we had about 5,000 unique employees registered for the sessions. Good attendance across the organization in terms of the total attendance, the total live, total participants that came to all of the sessions. So we felt overall we hit the mark in terms of we got good participation from the organization, again, by being super flexible, making sure we had sessions across time zones, across geographies, and we're really making it easy for them to come in, sign up, and be part of this. And at the end of the day, we were fairly happy with our results. So looking at our NPS score, you can see the promoters, passives, and detractors at the bottom of that little graph. The respondents liked the fact that we were very hands-on in what we delivered, that we were providing practical examples and tips for daily work. This was not theoretical. It was how do you enable Outlook to be better with Copilot? So really kind of drilling into those things. Clear, well-structured, engaging, knowledgeable instructor, having that Microsoft certified trainer that not only knows the material, but is a good edutainer for that audience is so key in these types of engagements. In terms of what kind of detracted from our NPS score, you had things like, hey, we would have liked more advanced content for experienced users, more interactive sessions. Great. We took that feedback and we've tried to implement that along the way where we could meet those needs. But let's get into some other data points as well that I think are interesting. When we looked across the sentiment from participants, we had fairly high positive feedback percentages in terms of the instructor helped them, they gained new knowledge or skills, or they strongly agreed that the examples through the session helped them to learn. So these were all really positive pieces for us, like, okay, we reached them, right? We got to them and we feel like the training we delivered was not only a hey, I checked the box, but I actually got a lot out of that engagement. And the stat that I love is 93% agreed or strongly agreed they will apply what they learned to their job, because that's what it's about, right? It's not about I learned some new trick. It's are they going to apply it in their job, and is the organization going to see ROI? So this is all really great, like yay, you guys did a good job. We're happy. We think we're going to apply it. But we wanted to go a little deeper because we wanted to show the organization the ROI that they were going to get as well. So we went into Viva Insights to actually look about what's changing in the organization. So we saw a large increase in usage of Copilot chat after these sessions. We saw notable increases across Outlook, Teams, and using AI meeting summaries. We didn't see quite what we would have liked to see in Excel and PowerPoint, but at the end of the day, what we saw was usage of AI, which was exactly what we were trying to get to when we rolled this out. Was let's get the participants to actually use the tools to do more than experimentation, but actually use them to change how they're working. And we saw really positive impacts of the learning experience. So in terms of remember those key points at the beginning I said I was going to try to tease out? So 84% of respondents said they expect the training to improve their productivity. So great stat in terms of, hey, they're going to be more productive. At least they feel they will. And we actually looked at the last slide to make sure that not only do they think they're going to be productive, but we actually saw usage of the tools increasing as well. Enhancing quality and efficiency, 66 and 58%, and encouraging engagement and innovation, just under half. So really great pickup in terms of what the respondents said they were actually going to pull out of this. And then like any good training organization, it's not just about the smiley sheet at the end of the session, but how is the impact at 30 days after making a difference. So these were some of the stats we saw in terms of agreed or strongly agreed their job performance has improved, agreed or strongly agreed using MS365 Copilot has increased their productivity, and 61% agreeing or strongly agreeing that a result of using M365 Copilot, the quality of the work is increased. So these were all great numbers across the board for the organization in terms of, hey, not only did they like what they got, not only did we see the usage go up, but 30 days after, when we surveyed them again, they came back and said, yeah, this is actually hitting the mark. This is actually making a difference in what I do. And then, for any new tool, right, confidence in using. So we looked at increase in the confident or very confident using generative AI tools. 30 days post was 90%. So they not only are using it, but they also feel confident using it as well, which was a great sentiment for us. And then looking at self-reported usage. So did we move the bar in terms of getting people to use this new tool? Absolutely. Pre-application, post-application, and 30 days post, you can see the increases in terms of usage of the actual tools. So we were ecstatic about that. And then, of course, we wanted to badge them. So we awarded 3 different badges based on their participation in the program. And these badges show up in their Credly profile as well as their Pearson's Credly Workforce instance. So we can actually see what are the new skills that the company has that we wouldn't have had before in the organization post the training event. So let's shift gears a little bit. I've talked to you a little bit about Pearson as Copilot kind of customer zero, but I want to talk a little bit about some other research Pearson has done, which is value of certification. So in this pilot we did, we provided training, we awarded credentials, but Pearson as a certification provider, Microsoft's certification provider, for instance, there's lots of research we did in terms of the value certification can bring to an organization. So you see some stats up on the slide about additional annual value for every certified IT employee, the fact that employers are increasingly aligning certification strategy with emerging technologies. We're going to have a QR link at the end where you can actually download this report and pull out some of these great stats on why certification is such a key component to any sort of training engagement. And I've done a little bit of the work for you. So some key findings from Pearson's own Value of IT certification report. 93% of organizations report positive ROI from certification investment. 70% of organizations that require certification report competitive advantage, and 78% invest in certification to close critical skills gaps. So these are all why training and certification is so valuable to organizations, and it's backed by research that we've done across lots of organizations around the world. And we are so excited that Microsoft is also coming with more and new certifications in the AI space. So there's a new wave of certifications and training courses tied to them coming around AI-powered roles across technical and business disciplines. Things like Gen AI, autonomous agents, integrated cloud and AI systems, business solutions. So we're thrilled for some of these new pieces that we're going to add to our AI skilling engagements with customers to make them even better than they are today. And Microsoft deliberately redesigned their certification portfolio to match the AI roles employers are hiring for right now, which is great. You see 7 new certifications that map to real and growing career paths here on the screen. At the foundational level, Microsoft has refreshed the Azure AI Fundamentals exam for anyone getting started. So lots of great stuff coming from Microsoft. You see the blue that are already live today. So there's training courses and certifications already designed for these, but then a lot of stuff coming that's in beta in pink and black coming in the next 1 to 2 months. And then a great slide here. This is the overall training and certification portfolio. You may see at the bottom a link that allows you to download your own copy, put it on your wallpaper, print it out in your office, look at it every day. That's what I tend to do here in my little home office here. And as I said, we're about at 20 minutes. That is the show. We're going to go into Q&A for about 10 minutes, but there's 3 really critical links in here. So how Pearson's upskilling program can boost your team's performance. There's a QR link for that. Accessing that full 2026 value of certification report that I teased at the end. You can download that, or discover Microsoft credentials at the AI Skills Navigator. You can also click on that with the QR code. All right, I am going to open up the chat and see what everybody has been asking about, other than who is this Brian guy and why does he keep talking? Great question from Gargi. Hopefully I'm saying that right. If I'm not, my apologies. Is this Copilot upskilling program self-paced? No, this was an instructor-led delivery. So we used a Microsoft certified trainer to deliver the phase 1, which was the excitement 1-hour phase, as well as the 4 1-hour application sessions. And then we did move to self-paced, where we had the Copilot by role. Those are Pearson courses we added on to the end of the engagement so that those 10 defined job roles could get some really great specific for how Copilot can be a force multiplier for them. So mostly instructor-led with some self-paced at the end. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, folks, what other questions do you have? Either about my session, how life is in Southern California, Microsoft certification, whatever you're interested in. Let's open it up. Let me make sure there's not another chat I should be looking at here. No, okay. So question from the audience, don't see a name here, but how will new AI certifications differ from new existing Microsoft AI certifications? So I think when you look at the AI certifications coming back from Microsoft now, as they learn more about the job roles being impacted by AI, they are honing in on those job roles. So you're going to see AI certifications from Microsoft that are coming out that are much more tuned to what they're hearing around AI. We're doing the exact same thing at Pearson with the curriculum we design. As we have more customer engagements, we are honing in sharper and sharper on exactly what are the problems that customers are coming back to us with, and making sure that the training is addressing that. Great question. And for anyone that decides they want to drop off early, thank you so much, by the way, for being here today. I appreciate you tuning in and listening to a little bit about what Pearson had to offer. All right, some more questions. Is this a yearly program? So the Copilot Skilling Program we did for Pearson was a 3-month engagement that we did for the organization. But does AI and Copilot skilling need to be a regular thing? Yes, absolutely. It is something that there's so much change in the product itself, but how to use it, you absolutely have to do this as an ongoing thing and make sure that you're staying current. Great question. And while we're waiting for other questions to come in, hopefully you're downloading some of those things from the QR codes. Again, how Pearson can help you is the first QR code. Our full 2026 Employer Value Certification Report is the second. And then a link to the Microsoft Credential AI Skills Navigator. So all really critical things for you. Actually, that's probably the best value you're going to get out of this whole presentation is the QR codes. So if you're not downloading them, you're missing out. All right, another question. What's the biggest barrier to AI adoption you've seen? Interesting question. So what we have seen is, you get a lot of experimentation to start, but not a lot of productivity work because they just don't know how to apply it in their day-to-day role. So that was really why the application sessions were so important, because we actually showed them this is how you use it in this application. And that made a huge difference. But as we talk to customers about AI adoption, what we're hearing is there is a great push at the C-suite level. That push diminishes as it goes down through the organization because everyone is so busy. So getting all the layers to make sure that they have that same conviction around how AI can help them is super critical. And then once you get kind of adoption, it's making sure you have the right adoption. So making sure that the use of tokens in your organization is the correct use. So you get very quickly from a let's get people to use this to a let's get people to use it in the right way. What specific AI skills are most important for professionals and teams right now? There's so much. I mean, there's definitely a push right now around agentic AI and what agents can do for you. So I would say that's probably a really key piece. But just figuring out how AI can be a force multiplier for you in your day-to-day work is super critical. Today, if you're not using AI as part of how you contribute to your organization, someone is sitting there going, what, are they providing enough value? All right. Some questions from users. Great. From Caesar, what credentials do you recommend for leaders that have no experience in AI projects? Great question. There's a lot of great business level certifications in that sheet. So download, go to that third QR code, the AI Skills Navigator, and it will actually help you lean into those business related roles. They will help you figure out how to start your AI journey. So that's a great segue. Thanks, Caesar. I owe you for letting me pitch that. Suman, as AI tools become more autonomous, what human skills should professionals develop to remain relevant alongside these technologies? Great question. We talk about that every single day, to be honest, making sure that we're staying current on the human skills. because that really will be the defining factor in what makes you different. That and being able to utilize AI to be a force multiplier for you. Critical thinking is a really key one that we've identified. If you're unable to be a critical thinker, AI will kind of figure out how to do it for you. So that's kind of one that I would really key in on, making sure you're assessing critical thinking across your organization. And then, of course, AI to a certain degree is only as good as the prompting you give it. So making sure that your folks are really good about how they're crafting those prompts. We did a lot of work in our session on prompting. So that's another skill that I would lean into. Where should a learner organization start if they want to build an AI training and certification plan? Great question. Happy to start with Pearson. We're happy to help you. But I would also key in one more time to that Microsoft Credentials AI Skills Navigator. That's a great place to start figuring out what are the skills that you need around AI, and then you go through and you basically start getting a sense, and then work with a TSP, right? I mean, that's what we're here for, to be that partner that can help you take, I think I want this, and then craft that into a plan that you can have them execute for your organization to be super moving in the right direction. Saket, again, apologize if I'm butchering your name. I'm just reading the text. What is the number one skill do you recommend on AI governance, especially for sovereign AI cloud? Great question. In terms of AI governance, I think you absolutely have to look at ethics and how you're using AI in the organization. We've seen lots of interactions where AI is being used, maybe not in the best way, in terms of the organization's goals. So I would look at ethics first and let that drive how you're going to kind of move forward. All right, and as we wrap up, we are 1 minute until the end here. Again, click on those QR codes really fast before we leave the screen. Again, how Pearson can help you. Our full 2026 Employer Value Certification Report, which is chock full of great information. And then the Microsoft Credentials AI Skills Navigator. Again, such a helpful tool to figure out what is the journey you're going to go on going forward. What can Pearson's experience as Customer Zero teach us about adopting Microsoft AI and Copilot successfully? Work with your HR teams. Like, I think that was the thing that we probably did not leave enough time for, making sure we could work with them, build it into their overall plan, and really make sure it's part of the organizational skilling versus a one-off thing you're trying to do. So that would be the one thing I would leave you with. Work with HR early and often. Make sure that you're in sync. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure being with you today. Thank you so much. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of AI Skills Fest coming from Microsoft.